I didn't expect to hate my life this quickly. Not after a wedding. Not after all the plans, the ceremonies, the cautious optimism. But here I am, just weeks in, and every day feels heavier than the last. Like waking up with a weighted blanket on my chest, but no warmth underneath it. I'm 29. He's 33. We dated for barely 8 months before getting married. He didn't want to wait. He said if I couldn't make up my mind, he'd walk away. I didn't want to lose someone who, at the time, seemed kind, stable, committed. I told myself I'd found someone who knew what he wanted. But now, it just feels like I got cornered into a decision I wasn't ready for. And honestly, I don't even recognize the version of me who said yes. The red flags weren't screaming at first. They whispered. A sarcastic comment here. A controlling opinion there. A subtle power play, disguised as care. I kept brushing them off. Told myself I was overthinking. That maybe I was the problem. That maybe I was just afraid of commitment. But now, in this silence, where I barely even speak, I can hear those whispers loud and clear. Run. I don't like who he is. That's the truth. He's boring. Not in a peaceful, quiet way. In a soul-suffocating way. Conversations drain me. He has no curiosity, no warmth, no joy. I used to laugh at everything. I used to sing while doing the dishes. Dance while folding laundry. Send silly texts to my friends late at night. Now, I'm quiet. Muted. Heavy. He's cold. Serious. Rigid. I miss being alive. He says it's love. The constant need to know where I am. What I'm doing. When I'll be home. But it doesn't feel like love. It feels like surveillance. He calls it his requirement to see me once every 24 hours. No matter what. Even if I'm exhausted. Even if I just need time alone. If I don't reply to a message fast enough. He floods my phone with calls, questions, accusations. And when I try to explain that I need space, he says I'm cold, disconnected, selfish. It's not care. It's control, dressed up as concern. He monitors everything. He questions what I wear, who I talk to, how much time I spend on work. He gets passive-aggressive if I talk to male colleagues. He once asked if I was trying to act single again, because I didn't wear my ring to the grocery store. When I work late, he acts like I'm choosing my job over him. When I talk about my goals, he goes quiet, or worse, critical. I told him I wanted to lead a team someday. He replied, "Well, don't expect me to pick up your slack at home." He earns over $200,000. I just started working. I make $130,000. Still paying off student loans. He insists on splitting expenses 60:40. It sounds fair on paper. But it's not. It ignores our different starting lines. It ignores my sacrifices. My leap of faith. To him, love isn't a partnership. It's a balance sheet. And then, there are the fights. Every disagreement becomes a war. Every conversation, a power struggle. He doesn't stop until he wins. And I push back. Because I can't be steamrolled. So we escalate. Louder. Sharper. Meaner. And the worst part? I've started matching his energy. Becoming someone I don't like. Someone always on edge. Always reactive. Always bracing. I'm walking on emotional eggshells in my own home. And I hate who I'm becoming. He has trauma. I get that. His parents had a toxic marriage. They separated late in his life. I've tried to understand it. Tried to be patient. Tried to hold space for his wounds. But now, his trauma is becoming my trauma. And I've realized, when trauma becomes an excuse to control and belittle, it stops being a reason, and starts being a weapon. I've already begun grieving something that hasn't even fully begun. People say, give it time. But they're not the ones performing smiles every day. They're not the ones waking up with dread. They're not the ones shrinking themselves to survive a conversation. This isn't love. This isn't partnership. This is a room I can't breathe in. The clarity didn't come all at once. It came in fragments. In the silence after an argument when I realized I didn't even want to fix it. In the mirror, when I looked into my own eyes and thought, you're fading. In phone calls to old friends that always ended with, I don't know how much longer I can do this. So I started small. I stopped picking up his calls right away. I began journaling again. I opened a secret savings account. And eventually, I started therapy. Quietly. Just for me. The therapist didn't tell me what to do. But she asked questions that peeled back my numbness. Do you feel safe? Do you feel respected? Do you feel like yourself? And the answer, every time, was no. Then came the moment. I had just told him about a professional win. And he barely looked up from his phone. He said, cool. So, did you put the laundry in? I sat at the edge of the bed, and for the first time, I saw it clearly. This can't be my life. This isn't love. This is a performance. I reached out to a lawyer. Learned about annulments. No-fault divorce. I began gathering my documents. My passport. My lease. My pay stubs. My dignity. The day I left, there was no dramatic fight. No shouting. No suitcase flung open. Just me, calm, for the first time in months. Walking out of that apartment. With a backpack. And my spine straight. He asked, where are you going? And I said, somewhere I can breathe. He didn't follow. Narcissists don't chase you when they realize you've stopped playing their game. I moved in with a friend. Filed the papers. Blocked his number. I cried for 3 nights straight. And then on the 4th, I made pancakes. With music playing in the background. For the first time in months. I don't have all the answers. But I have something I didn't have in that marriage. I have myself. And that's where I begin again.